Well, thanks for clicking on to the Sunday evening edition of Vogan's European Outlook. Apologies for no video yesterday. I actually was out and about for much of the day yesterday, so I didn't have a chance to do a video. I think that's the first time in about at least 10 days that I've not managed to do a video in a 24-hour period, so not too bad, I suppose, when all is said and done. But 2 minute temperatures are this is the temperatures for yesterday morning across the British Isles, and you can see here relatively mild versus what we've seen this morning. We had temperatures more in the below freezing category, thanks to quite a different setup. Actually, we had a lot of milder and cloud cover during the course of yesterday. Today, a lot different, clearer skies allowed for a colder start and a cooler day overall, and it's all thanks to an area of high pressure that has been well advertised here on the channel for some time, that we would see some very significant pressure rises over particularly the southern half of the UK, but even here at my house, the pressure rose to 140 millibars, which is pretty strong actually. This is the current winds. We have got windy conditions across the western half of Scotland, as you can see here, calmer conditions underneath that ridge. And let's have a look at the pressure chart. So I believe 1048 millibars was the strongest pressure within this area of anticyclonic conditions. You can see here that we've got still pressure in the kind of 946. Yeah, I think it looks as if 946 is the highest pressure at sea level thus far. And current conditions show that we are relatively mild across the north, kind of a fairly uniform temperature overall. But I think with the breeze, we're going to hold temperatures up somewhat across the north, further south under the clearer skies, but lighter winds, we're going to see the temperature dropping back below freezing once again. Looking at a comparison today, GFS versus the ECMWF, so we've got that centre of strongest high pressure anywhere in Europe at the moment over Wales actually, and we've got of course the extremely cold air that dropped into the northeastern half of the United States, eastern Canada over the last couple of days. I'll talk about that. I'm going to actually do a global weather report in the next couple of days, because some of the readings, some of the figures that have come out with regards to the level of cold has been quite astonishing. So I will do a video specifically talking about that, as well as the other interesting aspects going on globally at the moment here. But let's have a look at the GFS versus the ECNWF, because I've been speaking quite a lot last week about the potential of cold, even rumours of beast from the east coming in. But I did give you two significant scenarios depending on where that area of high pressure currently situated over the UK at the moment. Where that area of high pressure goes as we progress through this week would determine the outcome of the temperature profile across the UK. Get it up towards Scandinavia had a chance, not a guarantee, but a chance of seeing easterly winds coming in underneath that high, dragging in some very cold air from Eastern Europe, Western Russia into the UK. But if that area of high pressure just does not get far enough north, we do not shut down the Atlantic, and we do still have a bit of a battleground. The area of high pressure looks as if it's going to maintain itself pretty much across the UK for the majority of this upcoming work week, but we do not see the cold easterly winds coming in, I don't believe anyway. So this is the GFS here. You can see that area of high pressure somewhat deflates or eases back through the course of tomorrow into Tuesday. Notice here the centre actually shifts into the near continent. We do have a frontal system coming in over the top of that area of high pressure, but notice here that we've got an area of high pressure over the Atlantic extending across the UK up into northeastern portions of Europe. We've got frontal systems right on top of that, but you notice here that we do have that area of high pressure that kind of just joins forces and becomes a huge anticyclone extending from north of the Azores all the way into Russia here, and we have got a settled, dry, and relatively cool week coming up, but we do not have that easterly connection coming in to transport continental cold air into the UK. You notice here we've got another frontal system during the middle portion of the week that crosses over the top of the UK, and we do have a little bit of a reinforcing shot of colder air that increases the chances of snow largely over the high ground, but notice very little in the way of precipitation across the bulk of the UK thanks to that area of high pressure maintaining itself. But you notice that it never gets far enough north to then start to pull in air from the east. This is ECMWF, and you can see here that we play through the loop, very similar to the GFS. So we have that area of high pressure. There's that frontal system moving over the top, but a huge, system of very settled conditions will dominate the majority of next week. Like the GFS, it has a system riding over the top into the UK, bringing in some colder air, but on the whole, England, Wales, the majority of the UK sees very little in the way of precipitation right the way through to next weekend. So that's quite interesting, of course, to see. Looking at the GFS ensembles here, and this is the upcoming 5-day period. So the 2 meter temperature anomalies look like this. Underneath that area of high pressure, relatively cold conditions, so below normal, most of England and Wales, slightly warmer than average across Scotland. And the reason why is because we've got more Atlantic influence and wind. When you've got more wind, cloud cover, etc., then you have less drop off in temperature. Underneath that area of high pressure, you can see the temperatures cool off under radiational cooling conditions here. Very cold compared to normal across the southeast of Europe, warmer than normal, as you can see, across Scandinavia. Even today, the 44 to 8, you can see here that the majority of northern Britain, warmer than average, slightly cooler than average across the far south of England, and possibly Wales, even Ireland, also below average to the south, warmer than average across the north. Now, the Mann-Julian oscillation is looking like, certainly if you base it on the GFS operational anyway, don't know if this is the operational or it's the actual the ensemble. I'm not 100% sure, but we've got a strong phase 3 MJO at the moment. I think that is a relatively warm phase for the UK, very anticyclonic, but it looks as if the model tries to take it through phases 4, 5, possibly into a weaker phase 6 and 7. And if you can try and rotate that enhanced convection into the Western Pacific, that could lead to some significant changes in the overall hemispheric pattern during the second half of the month. And this has been highlighted significantly on this channel for some time. Milder start if we do get that colder second half. Now, it looks as if we're going to be average to possibly even slightly below average, particularly so across England and Wales, slightly warmer than average across Scotland, warmer than average across the north of Europe, colder than average across the south, thanks to that area of high pressure. But it does look as if we are going to see changes taking place as we progress through the next week to 10 days. So that's quite interesting to see. And of course, the La Nina base state, this could start to mark some significant changes in the trade winds over the equatorial Pacific Ocean that has been keeping the La Nina going. We could start to see the drop off in those winds and allowing the La Nina to finally end, which is quite interesting. Of course, that La Nina really, I think, along with other aspects, has been keeping Europe on the dry side, not just in the last 12 months, by the way, but over the last couple of years, really, Europe has been seeing increased dryness. If we can get El Nino to come on, now, yes, that may jack up the global temperature, it may jack up temperatures even within Europe, you would think anyway. I do believe that that should start to signify a change in precipitation distribution across our part of the world. Now, if you look at the CFS here of the Tropical Tidbits site, this is the month of March here. Remember, I alluded to in the last couple of days about the potential for colder weather during, possibly the second half of February through March, possibly even the April as well. Interesting how the GFS, or the CFS, sorry, has a negative over the UK and Ireland during the month of March. And then as we go into the month of April, high pressure slightly to the west of the UK. That would possibly signify a dry outlook, but it could signify a cooler outlook as well. Then we've got a bit of a shadow here over the western portion of Europe here, which may indicate an enhancement of precipitation. If we look at the precipitation chart of the model, it does show wetter conditions across at least southern and central portions of Europe here. Dry in north, wet south across the UK. Then as we progress into the summer, so this is June, July, and August, indicating slightly wetter than normal conditions. Let's watch this space with regards to the La Nina transition, at least in neutral, if not El Nino. 2012 seen a turnaround from that. We had prolonged dryness over the UK 2009 through 2011. Then we've seen one of the wettest summers on record in 2012 because we had the transition from La Nina conditions to El Nino conditions. Warmer than normal sea surface temperatures surrounding the UK as well could play a role in this. This is something that I'm looking at towards my summer forecast that will be released in the next couple of months anyway. It's still a long way off, but I'm just giving you these ideas as I go forward. But certainly we could see some significant changes taking place with the Manchurian oscillation finally getting out of that phase 3, and also we have to take into consideration what's going on within the stratosphere as well. So plenty of reason to keep here on my channel, so I do encourage you, if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button. Please please show YouTube that you're enjoying the content. Please of course, drop a comment as well and let me know that you're enjoying the content, and I will talk in the next day or so about the situation with the temperatures that happened across the northeastern half of the United States, eastern Canada. Remarkable cold. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully get that out for you tomorrow, if not on Tuesday. So thanks for watching. I do always appreciate it. Please like, share, and subscribe. As I've said already, I'll see you hopefully again tomorrow with more. Bye for now.